Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
And I'm Weston Pugh, and this is our 18th episode, but it is our first one in 2019.
It is. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to all y'all. Thank y'all so much. I'd like to start off the show by asking Jeff, what is your New Year's resolution?
Oh, wow. Let's see. I wasn't prepared for this. Your resolution. I'm going to be better at my job.
That's a great one. That's a great one. Well, my New Year's resolution was to wear the sparkliest shirt I could find in my closet. As you can see, I did not know that this pattern was going to make this type of sparkle, so I blame Tyler Sweatman for not putting that on the list of things not to wear. So thanks again. I won't do this again. All right. Well, one of the things that we were going to do today is we're going to talk about 4 different properties. And so we've kind of laid them out, and they range from townhomes and then all the way up to a mid-century modern that's in North Dallas. And so let's get started and let's take a look. And the first one's going to be 9910 Royal Lane, number 205.
9910 Royal Lane, number 205. This is a really nice townhome that's located in Lake Highlands. It's right off of Royal and Skillman. Really fantastic location from being able to access 75. You are minutes away from North Park Mall, just north of White Rock Lake. You can head down Audelia and be at Flagpole Hill in probably 10 minutes on a bike. And, you know, once again, once you pick up in any of those parks in White Rock Lake, you can ride into anywhere in the Metroplex.
Right. And this is also, if you look on this one, this would be close to Texas Instruments and also Richland College campuses. So it kind of gives you a really close to work if those were in your realm. And also Presby Hospital is also one of the hospitals in that would service this area. If we kind of switch over gears, now we look at what the house actually has. The notes actually say that it's a 12 bath or a 12 bedroom, but I do not believe that's correct. So let's go ahead and Ceci, thank you so much. Make note, that's a 2 bedroom for us. And it's a 1.5 bath and it's 1070 square feet. It is a 2-story, it built in 1980. The great thing about this one is the way that it's actually constructed, dealing with the fact that it's not with everyone stacked on top of you or below you. It's much quieter and you get less of overall noise from this. This was renovated in 2015 and was just repainted last week to a bright white. Stainless steel appliances are included with this one. They also are only 3 years old. The renovation did include both the kitchen, flooring, paint, and then the
master
bathroom.
bath, yeah, or the bathroom upstairs, yeah.
Yep, and we also got rid of the laminate or the stairs. We redid that. This one also has a full-size washer and dryer connection. We also, this shows you what was done in the bathroom. Dual sinks, cabinets that are both medicine, but also open up in our continued medicine. One of the things also that was done, and this is, you see that there is no more tub, so this is a walk-in shower with glass, which makes really good use of this space. There is a skylight here, which adds really good natural light. So overall, this is a really good bathroom configuration. Side note too is that the washer and dryer is upstairs on the second floor where the beds are, so it makes it really easy to get in and get everything done. This does come with a gated back courtyard for your pets, for your plants, whatever they are. And then just on the other side of that, you have a 2-car carport. So this is a easy property located at the back of the complex, near the pool, I believe. And the HOAs come in right at the mid-200s a month. This is available for showing, still not on the market yet, but is available on Friday for the first set of showings. If you have any questions about this property or would like to see it, please directly message us. It comes on at $169. That puts it at $157 a square foot.
And one of the big things about this complex is it is FHA approved.
That's right.
Which means it will also take VA financing. And because it's got those two levels of financing on it, conventional financing is really super easy as well.
Yep. So one of the key things is the financing when it comes to properties like this.
Yep.
We're going to move into Live Oak Lofts, 2502 Live Oak Loft Street. This is number 328, and this is actually adjacent to many epicenters, so that would be downtown, uptown. You could also get into, let's see, that would be Lois Greenville that you'd be able to get into. And one of the great things about this location is that from a commuter standpoint, you have the Deep Ellum Dart station just on Good Latimer. And then if you go just on the other side of 35 towards downtown, it'll be the East Transfer Station. There are also a plethora, how do you like that? Plethora of electric scooters in and around that area that can help you get around. And if you go to the far west side of downtown, there is the Union Station, so you can get on the TRE and you can head across the nation if you like that. As far as grocery stores, one of the big things in this area, grocery stores are key, and grocery stores that service this area would include Kroger's, Sprouts, Whole Foods, Blue Grocer, and Trader Joe's. So you are not for naught with this.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about the home itself.
So this building was one of the buildings that was built in the late 90s as a true loft-style condominium ownership. You know, we have a lot of this product out there now, but many of it was converted from loft properties,
Right.
where this was actually built from the ground up. It's got a really interesting central hall plan. And by having the unair-conditioned, unheated central halls, it helps keep your HOA fees down. And all of the interior units and the hallways all look in on the really great courtyard, pool area. The unit itself is 1 bedroom, 1 bath, a little over 1,000 square feet. And this had a full renovation done on it in the kitchen and the bathroom, probably within the last 5 years or so. And they've done some really interesting stuff, as you can tell here. So this is cabinetry that is almost, the end piece is really rolled in there. It's not attached to that. So you've got the ability to take that away, create a little bit more openness into the kitchen if you want. The design that was put into one end of this, one end of the kitchen is they used, what did I call it the other day?
It was the
Hardy
cementous
backer.
Hardy backer.
Yeah, it's a concrete hardy backer.
That's a good spot of it.
And it's a really interesting design aspect that's put into this. You see the barn door style open door, and behind that is the washer and dryer, and a nice big walk-in pantry there. And it's just really, they've captured a lot of the light from the outside with the really big windows on it, and the lighting fixtures that they have there. It does have full-size washer and dryer connections inside that closet. It has some on-site storage that comes with the unit. And again, it's got such a great outdoor space where the pool and the grass. HOA fees are $334 a month, which brings it in about 33 cents a square foot. Again, very, very affordable space. Finished concrete floors throughout. Big open windows, just really a fantastic unit.
So what struck me about this one is this is a unit that has a lot of layers and a lot of textures on it. So in some of those images that you could have seen, there was an actual support beam that is of wood, probably like a red oak that's been stained. And again, like you said, you have the cement floors, but then also that one wall, I have to tell you that cement wall that they've done right there is amazing. And that sliding barn door made out of the plastic that we saw the other day when we were at Regal Plastic, I think that it all fits. And the light that you get, because this does face south, really add to the value of this home. This one also comes with 2 assigned parking spaces that are gated, and it also comes with a storage unit that is going to be 60 square feet, and it's also on site, which add a lot of extra value when you're in a 1-bedroom place. This again is a really good example of what the bedroom looks is.
Yep. And this one is priced at $283,000. That's about $275 a square foot for a really large 1-bedroom unit. That's a great price. You've got, your downtown adjacent, so the pricing on this is really, I think, right on the money.
Yep. So we want to thank Vincent for allowing us to highlight his home on this one. So the next property that we're going to talk about is going to be 2206 Melbourne Avenue. And so what we're going to do now is head into Oak Cliff. And this one is down Tyler. So if you take Tyler, head south and go from the Bishop Art District, you'll cross over, but it's before Illinois, into a neighborhood called Elmwood. And that's also adjacent to Wynwood North. And these are both really great neighborhoods inside of Oak Cliff that have a really Wynwood's been going at it pretty good, but I think Elmwood is beginning to experience it. They have a really strong continuity with neighbors and whatnot. And so we're seeing the gentrification beginning in there, both from the people that want to do a flip, but also from end users. And so we want to talk a little bit about this house. Again, this one is going to be Methodist District Hospital is just at Beckley in Colorado. So that's a nice area. And then also around the corner from this home, the Dart Hampton station is available. So if you were interested in commuting, this is great for you as well. It is an easy commute into uptown and downtown. So it's getting a lot of attention in that area.
If you work in downtown, this is really a perfect neighborhood for you to be in. The Elmwood neighborhood really got its start in the 1950s, and it is this great collection of some early Tudor style homes. There are some ranch style homes. There are small 2-bedroom, 1-baths. This is a great 3-bedroom, 1-bath home, and it's got about 1,250 square feet in it. One of the unique features of this home, Weston, is that it has this really cool garage apartment on the back. Needs a little bit of work on it, needs a little bit of love to it, but if you're somebody that has an elderly parent that needs to live with you, or maybe you've got somebody else in your family that needs to live with you for a while, it's really a great spot for them. If you're interested in doing an Airbnb, this might be the great opportunity for that also. The home itself has these really incredible, just fantastic hardwood floors throughout. It's been painted very, very nicely. The kitchen's had some updating done to it. I think that the location, the pricing, the configuration of this one really would allow somebody to come in, and you could either do some minor renovations on this to make it your own, or you could blow it all the way out. There are homes in this neighborhood that are comparable to this that sell in the mid 300s. So
absolutely,
lots of room for you to improve this one and not over improve for the neighborhood.
Going back just to that guest apartment, wanted to point out that that's almost 400 square feet, and that it does have its own living room. It has a bedroom, full bathroom, kitchen, and then it also has a porch, and off that porch you have both washer and dryer connections. So this could actually be completely self-contained. So if you wanted to look at it from the aspect of an income generator, it would fit those needs where there wasn't anything in the main house that someone would need to actually share with you. But again, these are images of the actual house that show you what condition the floors are in, which is great. Very clean. If walls needed to be opened between kitchens and living rooms, they're simple. It's not one of those houses that you look at and you're like, there are walls to move and reconfigure. It's a very simple, clean, straightforward home. I think the biggest thing that I would take into consideration would be a small reno in the kitchen and maybe replacing the windows just for energy efficiency.
And this is priced at $230,000. That's $184 a square foot. And again, there's home sales in the neighborhood that are in the mid threes, so you're buying well within the price point of the neighborhood and having an opportunity to really make it nice for yourself.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great one. If you'd like more information about 2206 Melbourne Avenue, please direct message us, and we'll be happy to share it with you and set up a showing if you'd like.
Absolutely.
What's the next one we got?
Our next one is at 4215 Boca Bay. This is another fantastic location in far North Dallas, or actually North Dallas. It's not really far North Dallas anymore.
Doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, it's right off of Midway, just south of Forest. This is in the neighborhood. My brain just left.
I have that noted down there.
It's in the Glen Cove neighborhood. Gosh, my brain went away for a minute there. And the thing that I was going to tell you about the Glen Cove neighborhood is they have their own swim club there.
Okay.
So while this home's got a really fantastic pool, there are a lot of the neighbors there that join this swim club because it is private. You can bring your own food into it. And the membership in the Glen Cove Swim Club is limited to 325 members.
That's almost just like the Sparkman Club then.
Very, very much like that. Sparkman's limited to just people in that neighborhood. The Glen Cove is open to anybody, but it does have that limitation on it.
This is a great home in a great area. It also just had a central market that just opened on Midway and Northwest Highway. So you get great groceries. The other thing too is you're in a corridor that really supports the private schools. So any direction that you're really looking at, you can be at a private school probably within 5 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
This home is an actual mid-century modern. It is a 4-bedroom, 3.2 baths. It is a 2-car garage. It has a pool, outdoor dining area, and outdoor seating and lounging area. This home is one of those flat ranches, which is constructed with a bedroom on one side, which is the master, that opens up to the actual pool. This is an actual image of the entry formal room that you walk into. Walls have been painted alabaster white, ceilings and the woodwork as well. Very well done. They've actually replaced the windows there to allow that natural light in. And just off of that is a dining room, and there's a back hall that takes you down to the other 3 bedrooms. One of the great things that this family has done with this house is they've actually incorporated the back kitchen into a really good family room, and so it just has a super clean flow. This house came on the market and had a great open house that we swung by and took a look at. There is not much to want for in this house right here. It does have the stainless steel appliances, 2 ovens, and the 5-cook burner. So white oak finished this one off. I can't say enough good things about this one. Had I not have bought a house in East Dallas already, I think that I would be looking at this one right here. It is a wonderful home. It comes in at $765,000, which brings in at $251 a square foot. And we want to thank Melissa O'Brien for allowing us to talk about her house on 4215 Boca Bay Drive.
Fantastic home.
Excellent. All is good. So one of the things that Jeff and I have started doing is we've actually started coming up with a mailer, and it comes out once a month, and it's called the Updike Pugh Post. And we send this out and are working right now on getting this digitized. And then we'll also have this on the website.
Right.
So if you have any, if you'd like to get a copy of this, or we'd love to hear your feedback from it, please let us know. And as you can see right here, there's a interesting little effect that happens right there. Ceci actually took a picture of us here, and the green screen behind it actually lets the background here show up. So little interesting factoid here. If you'd like to get a copy of this, please let us know. We'd love to send one out to you. So one of the things we're going to switch gears into, and we're going to talk about the next segment, is how to benefit from property tax exemptions. I feel like that's going to be the next thing that everybody's going to be talking about right now.
It's that time of year when that starts to come up. Do you know how this actually began?
So the first one was the homestead, and I don't really know how that homestead kicked in.
So the concept of homestead exemptions in general, this, what we're talking about today, is kind of a small cog of the whole thing. But the homestead exemption began in the 1837 legislature, and it was brought in, 1839 legislature, because of the 1837 depression.
Okay.
There were a lot of people who were having their farms and ranches and homes foreclosed upon because of other debts. People going through that period, just many of the people lost everything. And so in 1839, our state legislature enacted the homestead exemption, which would protect the home or the family farm from other creditors. It would also protect it. There are only a few types of ways that you can ever foreclose on somebody's home. So all of the money that you pay against your homestead is protected up to, like in the urban market, you can protect up to 100 acres. I mean, it's a very broad homestead exemption. And this was put into the state constitution in 1945 so that the legislature could not just go back and change it willy-nilly. I don't know if you remember, not 15 years or so ago, when the homestead exemption laws were changed and home equity laws first began in Texas, it took probably 3 legislative cycles to actually get that to change and get it to the voters. And It's one of the most protective homestead exemptions in the country in Texas.
Interesting. So we actually have a couple of other types of exemptions that you can get in addition to the homestead. You can get an over 65. There's also the disabled persons exemption, not to be confused with the disabled veterans exemption.
That's correct.
So I think what we're going to do now is kind of dive in, talk a little bit about each one of these, and bring up points that would be interesting to homeowners, kind of help them navigate what is the best way to get through these.
So the general homestead exemption, one of the big benefits of that is that it can reduce your property tax bill by as much as 20%. You know, our state is primarily funded from property tax. That's how we pay for a lot of our schools. It's how we pay for our hospitals. And as taxation became more onerous on homeowners, they brought this homestead exemption in so that as on your principal residence, you would not have to pay as hefty a bill as you did on your investment property or commercial landowners did. We talk about it this time of year because now is the time that if you just purchased a home in the last year, you need to go file your homestead exemption.
Correct.
And you have to have that done by April 30th of the year.
You also have to live in the house on January 1. Is that correct?
That is correct. If you bought a home that had a homestead exemption on it, if you bought the home after January 1 and it has a homestead exemption on it, you do get the benefit of that exemption for the rest of the year. But to qualify for your own exemption, you do need to file your own.
Correct.
And you did need to occupy it on January 1st.
Yep. So it's a little bit of caveat. Most people will actually, when they're in their home, qualify and make all that work out right. The next one that we want to talk about is the over 65. And over 65.
The over 65, the big thing about that is it invokes the tax ceiling where that it automatically limits the amount of school taxes you pay. You know, the thought behind this is you've owned this property for many years. You've probably paid school property taxes because in many instances you've had kids that have gone to school. And once you reach 65, while you still benefit from having the general population have good education, you get to have that little cap put on. Again, you have to occupy it as principal residence on January 1 of that taxing year. This is a big thing too, is if two unmarried owners own that property and one of them owns it as an investment and the other one owns it as their principal residence, you only get a 50% exemption on it, whether it's the homestead or the over 65.
Interesting.
Yep. So if at some point those two people marry, then they will need to make sure that they get the other end of that homestead exemption applied on as well.
Because homesteads don't actually file themselves. And
That's
we're going to
correct.
talk about that. That's one of the keys. You think that the homestead, since it was there when you bought it, because the initial seller had it on there, carries over, it only does it for 1 year. So I think the next portion that we're going to talk about is going to be the disabled person and disabled veteran. These actually have very similar, if not the same, set of requirements.
That is true. To meet the disabled person exemption, you have to meet the Social Security Administration definition for disabled. And again, this invokes a tax ceiling that automatically limits school taxes for the year. And then again, you have to occupy this as your principal residence. And that means anywhere in the country, not just in Texas. You have to claim this as your principal residence in the country.
Exactly. And then the two unmarried live there, each person will need to file as well, correct?
Yes, yeah, it is very much like the other ones from that perspective.
File twice if you're not married.
Yep. And the big one, and this one applies for the over 65 as well, is you can still sell that home and transfer that exemption with you to your new home.
Okay.
So it does, you don't get stuck in one home just because you're over 65 and you have your exemption. You can actually carry over whatever percentage you have that ceiling capped at to your new property.
Very good. One of the other things too that has changed is that DCAD now allows you to get this information and file these things online. And so I guess that's the next thing, is that now we know what we get from that and we know who's eligible, but now we want to talk about how do you actually get to that and how do you make this happen?
So if you're in the Dallas Central Appraisal District area and you find your property on the DCAD website, there is a link there that you can choose and you can file your homestead exemption right there. There are some extra things you have to do. You have to provide a copy of your driver's license or your state ID, and that address must match that property address. And again, you have to file it by the April 30th deadline.
One of the things that I found very interesting too, and I did not know this, was that I had lived in a condo, but it was outside in another ISD. And so that ISD did not have a third party collecting taxes. So when I had paid my escrow account, I got a secondary tax bill. And I asked Jeff, I was like, what is this? And basically it boils down to the fact that there was yet one more tax that I needed to take care of because they hadn't collected it with a third party.
Yeah, the different taxing entities can hire third parties like the Dallas Central Appraisal District to do their appraisals and to give the taxing authorities the values, but they don't have to contract with them to actually bill for their taxes. Like Richardson School District is one that they bill for their own taxes. And so if you're in one of those neighborhoods that you might be in the city of Dallas and in Dallas County, but you're in Richardson School District, you may be getting two different tax bills.
That's exactly what I did. I got two different bills. So there is a little bit of that. It is one of the things to keep aware of. If you do get that and it doesn't make sense, please reach out to us and let us know. We'll help you out with that and help answer any of the questions you have. One of the things that is a misconception is that there's a fee that is associated with this. Talk a little bit about what that is, because this is unfortunate.
So one of the little things that title people are now telling you when they go to closing after you signed everything is, we were in a closing on Friday, and the closer did such a great job of pointing this out. And she said, okay, Mr. Buyer, Jeff is not selling your information, nor is the lender selling your information. When we file your deed at the county, all of that becomes public record. And so there are all of these third-party entities that are going to start mailing to you, trying to get you to buy a copy of your certified deed, or they're going to want you to spend $35 with them to file your homestead exemption. They all look very, very official, but don't fall for it. Call us if you have any questions. We know what they all look like.
Yeah.
We can help you figure it out.
And the thing is, they really send them to you, and what they've done is they've done a really good job of creating something that looks like an official seal for the state of Texas, and it really isn't. So I remember the first time I bought a home, Homestead came in, and all of this came to me, and I called my agent. I was like, what is this? Long story short, don't file it. Call us, go to DCAD, fill it out online. It is 100% free. So one of the things too that we want to talk about is taxes. How quickly are they rising? Because I think this is where homeowners get confused. And why do homeowners get confused over and over again?
I think one of the big reasons is the way our taxing system works. We pay property taxes in arrears, meaning that we pay the taxes after it's already spent or done. So the tax bill that came out toward the end of 2018 was for all of 2018. And if you have an escrow account with your lender, that lender probably didn't pay those taxes until sometime in December. And then you're going to get what's called an escrow analysis letter sometime in April of 2019. And that's the point many homeowners look at how much they paid on property taxes. And by that point, it's too late to do anything about it. And so one of the great things I think the Texas Association of Realtors has been doing for the last couple of legislative cycles is they've been trying to change this process where the homeowner has more transparency in how their property is valued, how the taxation process works. And so one of the things we recommend is protest your tax valuation annually. Take the time to file the protest, go down there, go through the process. I hate to say you have nothing to lose, but in most cases, you don't really have a lot to lose by doing that. But you really learn about the process and you get that. One of the other things that we recommend to do is go to the website called hiddenpropertytax.com. And that is set up by the Texas Association of Realtors. And they're basically asking you to sign an online petition that will allow them during this legislative cycle that just began a few days ago to get those processes changed, get the appraisal process changed, get the transparency back in how taxes are charged.
It's a great thing. And I think that more and more people, as this comes out in the legislative cycle, and I know that we'll bring it up again, will be ready to kind of make changes and see this happen. It does nothing, again, going back to the transparency of this, that's what we're looking for.
Right.
So if this is something that you find interesting, or you want more information on how to file your homestead, or are you eligible for other ones, please let us know. We'll be happy to help you out with that.
We were happy to do that.
Yep. So, well, thank you all so much for tuning in today. That was a great first show back, I think.
It really was. That was, I think we had some fun with the really cool properties in the beginning, and then we got a little meats and potatoes on the homestead exemption, and
Yep.
maybe a little too geeky toward the end, but
Nope, never too geeky. Geeks rule the
this is how
world.
it goes.
So,
Well, anyway, we would like to thank you for tuning in today. It's Weston said it's been a lot of fun, and there are lots of ways for you to reach out to us if you'd like. Visit our Facebook page. You can go in there and like that, and that'll keep you updated with what's going on in our real estate world. Instagram's a good way to follow us and just kind of see some of the properties that we get to represent and some of the things that we see in the marketplace. UpdikePugh.com, our website. You can sign up and get information about properties that are on the market, learn about the process. Last of all, go to homeprice.fyi. You can get your home value pretty much instantly there, and it's a really good place to start. Last of all, reach out and contact us with either a call or text. We're happy to talk to you. We're happy to help you know about what's going on in the real estate market.
there you go. Until next week, we'll see you then. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Thank you.